What's up, guys? My name is Roemello, and this is Golden Age. I was born in Stockton, California. I have two young parents, and they grew up their whole life in Stockton. I had an aunt and my uncle who moved up to Washington State, and so we kind of followed behind them when I turned 7, I want to say. I'm a single child, or only child rather, and growing up kind of in isolation, like I felt alone a lot of times, but I didn't really mind it. Discipline is definitely a big thing in my family, and granted, I'm not like the most clean person. If you did a quick scan of the garage, you would see organization is not one of the things that I was really great at, and I didn't take as far as the discipline aspect goes, but all of my family is really hard workers. And so since I was a kid, I've learned that hard work is vital. When I was like really young, this always stood with me. My dad, he told me, there's two people in this world, leaders and followers. What do you want to be? Now, obviously, you want to be a leader, right? That taught me to think for myself, always from a young age. It's like, okay, well, you don't want to always follow the crowd. And I think that has definitely shown in my work too. During high school, I was doing like a lot of landscaping stuff, just on my own. My dad would let me take his truck out and I'd go do people's yards and everything. But I kind of figured that I was just going to open up my own landscaping business because I didn't really see what I would do with college. At the time, I loved music, I love hip hop culture and everything. So I was like, learning how to make beats. I was like playing around turntables. I was writing raps and everything. And my mom's like, well, maybe you could study music production. I ended up at Cal Lutheran University. My whole college years, I was AV tech. And then I eventually, or not eventually, like right away, I started teaching myself how to cut hair.
Only $5 till your girls come through. Your friends looking grimy, make sure they come too. Everybody know that I do my job well. Don't take my word fine, just ask my clientele, they gon' say the same thing. Man, he's what's up. If you looking for a barber, go to Samurai Cuts. What?
So during that time, I really figured out what it was to be an entrepreneur. So I don't know if you've heard of Round 2. It's in Hollywood. Back in the day, it was like really popping. I don't know how it is anymore, but there was money to be made.
This is the JXTRHO, he's the genius. You see, he's the leader of the whole clique. The Wu-Tang forms like Voltron, who just happens to be the head.
And so I started going to all the Goodwills in the area, and then I started doing flea markets and everything. And I love music, like that was definitely my first really creative push, but I wasn't really seeing that be realistic for me. So I kind of just decided to focus more on selling stuff. I've been sick, so I've just been like...
I saw it everywhere around your house.
It's all over the place. What are you doing, lady?
So have you like checked out all the thrift stores in your area yet?
Mm-hmm. I've lived here in this area for 6 years, so I've definitely seen them all. But the one we're gonna go to is my favorite. This is like at your tío's, or like at a, what's it called? A quince. Unfortunately and fortunately, I was in a work accident that I can't really talk about, but that kind of changed the whole trajectory to make this more serious for me. My mom was like, you need to get a job, this and that, like you need to start looking for a career choice, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to, but I see why, you know? She said, you need to start thinking about your future. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I already knew internally, like and I still have this faith of something's gonna work out. So my old roommate, Danny Dwyer, you can check him out on YouTube. He's an artist. He had asked me if I wanted to go on a road trip with him to Missouri. When we were in Missouri, he's like, man, you gotta meet my boy Coop. You're gonna love him. Like he has all these clothes, he does this and that. And, all right, cool. So we go to Coop's house, we walk in and there's like the 4-color screen print machine. And I'm like, what is this? You know, he had these screens laying around and everything. And I'm like, what are you doing in here? He's like, oh, it's a silk screen. Like, I never heard of that in my life. So before I left, I was like, how do you get into this? You know, how did you learn? He's like, oh, just YouTube. Okay. That's how I learned how to cut hair. That's how I learned everything. What kind of hooked me was the challenge of it too. Like trying to burn my own screen, it took like a week. You know, I went through like 7 of the same screen. I had to keep cleaning it off, keep trying. And when you finally crack the code, that's what's exciting to me. It's like trying to bring something to life is so sick because it's, I mean, all this effort that went behind it. And then you finally have your piece. This character is super cool. This is from Metal Gear Solid 4. It's the Screaming Mantis. And her character is sick. I took off she has like these puppets on a string. I took them off, but she can basically like control people's body like with the puppet strings. So this design is called the Puppet Master. I was selling at the Rose Bowl with one of my friends, Griffin, and I would like sneak in a couple of things that I printed to the racks, and those would always sell. And then eventually I would just keep bringing more of my own stuff and less vintage. And then when I started selling clothes, I was mostly collecting stuff from the 90s. And so Golden Age is Golden Age of hip hop, Golden Age of clothes to me, and then Golden Age thrift just felt right. We were living at this house a couple years ago. We love this place. We really wanted to live there again, but our landlord was like, we're gonna sell it. And you have 2 months to get out. I didn't have any money. I had maybe like $700. I had to lay it all on the line, you know. I like called my mom. She's like, well, maybe you can move back here, like, or move to Tennessee with us for a little bit just to get your feet up. And I'm like, no, that's admitting failure. I gave myself no option for that. And I think that it paid off because, I mean, just put my head down, kept at it, and I had this one market. And then the next day, like I just counted all, I didn't even count my money. I was like, oh, I have it, you know. The next morning, I just counted all my cash and I just started crying. I'm like, man, thank you, God. Like, you always show up. This was like a pivotal moment in my life where I was like recovering from this injury and I was really just like diving all the way into this like persona of whoever I'm trying to be, right? And I kind of, like one of my favorite artists, MF Doom, his brother passed away when he was young and he fell back from music because they were in a group together. He fell back from music and he came back as the supervillain. Like I had this whole life before art, and so I feel the same way where like this old part of me died, and now I have this opportunity to reemerge as something else.
It don't matter what I look like, you know, it don't matter what the artist look like, it's more what the artist sound like. So villain represents anybody in here could wear the mask and be the villain.
This big elephant right here, to me, when I saw this guy, I was like, he's so powerful, you know, and the text that I wrote on the screen sounds kind of corny, but the text that I wrote for it is, a celestial villain seeks all and fears none. And I'm like, that's me. Like, and a lot of my stuff actually resembles a lot of Buddhist characters. I was at an estate sale and I saw this book called Siddhartha, and it had the Buddha sitting on it. And it was a really old book, and I got it for like $1. And the author, his name's Herman Hesse. He's my favorite author because it always talks about like the duality and one person finding themselves. I knew that I wanted to do Muay Thai, and so fortunately I've been able to work up my business enough to be able to support this hobby. My coach, he's like the elder of the place. He was just kind of talking to all of us, and he's like, oh, your style is this, your style is this. And he's like, you're weird, like you don't have a style. He's like, your style is no style. And I think that's super cool because that kind of ties into here too, where it's like, there's no technique that I'm really trying to adhere to. It's like whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. It even goes to the practice of how I make it. I don't have a press in here. I sold my press like 5 years ago because I didn't need it anymore, you know, and I just started to do things my own way. The whole reason my style is how it is because I could never print anything right in the center. I could never print it where I wanted it. So then I would just cover up my mistake with another thing, you know? And so eventually I started leaning into the mistakes and they ended up becoming something else. It's almost like creativity has turned to discipline now, where it's like, even if I'm not feeling it, I just force it until something happens. Before, I was just like putting out a ton of videos, a ton of reels, almost every day I was making something new. But that I burnt myself out that way. So I think that it's pretty difficult sometimes to manage like input and output. I was telling you about Patrice O'Neal, and he was saying, when your swagger's off, you can't force it back.
One of the few things I learned in college is good if it's good for me.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the people I enjoy. I enjoy things the way I enjoy it. I don't want to enjoy life set up by someone else's rules of how to enjoy life.
I'm still in here every day. You know, I'm still trying, just like, even though I can't force greatness, it's like, if I lose that muscle, then greatness will never come. A lot of times when people message me, they're like, oh, I have this question about whatever, I will take the time and answer them, or I'll even do a video real quick.
Friends, my name is Roemello, Golden Age, and today I'm gonna show you how I build and stretch my screen print frames.
What I get from this, if I can share that with someone else, I think that's really exciting. It's the whole, give a man a fish, he eats a meal. Teach a man to fish, he can feed everybody.
Come sit.
I've never really had a plan or like a vision for any of this stuff. It kind of just kept falling into place, and so whatever like wants to come my way, I'm like, all right, cool, let's just keep trying it out. But I've always enjoyed working by myself and for myself, so I'm really happy and thankful that I'm pretty good at this. I've never looked at this as a brand. It's always just been art to me, and I much prefer art than business. Expanding the business, I don't think is really something I'm super interested in. Like, I don't want to mass produce things. If the opportunity arises, I think it'd be interesting to try it out, but ultimately, I always want it to be about the art, and I want to make great stuff. And so I think if I could continue to keep expanding my skills and knowledge, whether that be through even making stuff on different mediums like posters or like big pieces, you know, whatever. I just want to keep trying new stuff, and I just want to be great. That's a good principle for life too. Like, you just have to keep trying, fail, try, and eventually, you know, you put the time in and something will come out of it.
Each.